What's going on, y'all? This be your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Friday, and I plan on doing the exact same. What's going on, Scotty Gang? What's going on to the new viewers that may be tuning in for the first time? And what's going on to the hate watchers that are literally always watching? What's going on, y'all? Now, before we get into today's mess, let's talk about what we got coming up on the horizon. Now, tonight is Boys Night Out night, okay? And we will be coming on tonight at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in as Scotty, Jamar, Terrence, Josiah, and Maddie come together to talk about, music, movies, celebrity gossip, all things gay. So make sure you guys tune in to that. And then on tomorrow, be sure to tune in to Love and Marriage Huntsville. I will be doing a live review on the show right after tea. Okay, so make sure you guys tune in to that. Now that's it for all the church announcements. So let's go ahead and get into the mess. So we're gonna start this thing off with Miss Carisha, aka Young Miami from the City Girls. Now the BET Hip Hop Awards aired earlier this week rather, and Miss Carisha won for best media. I think what was it now? I think it was best hip hop platform for the 2023 BET Hip Hop Awards, and she was nominated amongst those like All Hip Hop, Drink Champs, Hip Hop DX, $1 million Worth of Game, Rap Caviar, the Breakfast Club, and the Joe Button podcast. All right. So that was what she was nominated up against, and she won. However, there's been a lot of criticism in regards to her big win at the BET Hip Hop Awards. Now, what all started when Noriega from the Drink Champs podcast said, so nobody's going to say anything about the podcast in the media award, right? Okay, me neither. So then there was some of the comments. We're going to get into some of the comments too. They said, we old, yo. They don't value us no more. Somebody said, just congratulate her and move on. We have to love out loud a little bit more. The fans voted for who they wanted to win. How did Diddy make this happen? As you can see, there were some people that were saying that Diddy probably made that happen. Um, Someone says, sorry, but the real Noriega, you talk over your guests and cut them off too much. You need to change that. I don't know what that got to do with anything. She won because she deserved it. I mean, she had more views. She said she the Oprah. She meant it. Someone said this is a fan award. Someone said Drink Champs deserved it. Plus, they get way more views and they stay going viral, which I will agree. Now, as much as I do like the Carisha Please podcast, because trust me, I do listen to it every time it comes out, but it doesn't come out as often. But I also love Drink Champs. And I feel like they do deserve the recognition. I mean, they do go viral. They get millions of views. Their interviews are always the best, even though they be long as hell. Their interviews are the best, and I do think that they deserve every bit of an award for their podcast. They do a whole lot of stuff for hip hop and have a whole lot of great questions. So for that alone, I feel like they should have won, or even I would have even given it to. And then you have the Breakfast Club, that's a close second, and then you have Joe Button's podcast. That's a third. I mean, out of them three, one of them should have won, in my opinion. But I'm not mad that Carisha won. But if you think about the optics of it all, I do think that it should have been between Drink Champs, the Breakfast Club, and the Joe Budden podcast. That's just my opinion. But I'm definitely not mad that she won, because if she won, she fucking won. I mean, it is what it is. It's the same way when me and Jamar won our Boss Babe Award, and then there was people who felt like we shouldn't have won and all this other stuff. But it was a fan picked award. We got the fan base, so therefore we won. We won for the prelude. Scotty by Nature channel won by itself. So we had the fan base. We had the people that was willing to vote. We had folks. And from what I heard, this was a fan award, and the fans chose who they wanted, and they chose Carisha. So who are we to get mad at that? So after Noriega said what he had to say about Carisha Please winning the Best Hip Hop Platform Award, Charlamagne took to the Breakfast Club to have a couple of things to say about what he thought about her winning. Let's get into what he said.
Come on now, 2 years in a row.
Yes. Well,
Come
last year
on
she
now.
tied with Drink Champs.
I got mad love for Carisha, but you got platforms that come out daily, and you got platforms that come out weekly. Like the $1 million worth of games and the Drink Champs. The Joe Budden. Like, come on now, come on, Carisha. I love Carisha, please. But was that sponsored by De Leon?
I don't know.
Was DeLeon the sponsor of the BET Hip Hop Awards?
I don't know. And also, lastly, salute to
Don't-
Ice Spice.
Salute to you, Carisha. Dropping the clues bombs to Carisha. Okay. Love her. I love what she does. But 2 years in a row, come on now.
And that
By
is
the
your
way,
rumor report.
if Carisha Please did come out weekly, I wouldn't have no problem with it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it is that good when she drops.
Right.
But I just don't see enough of it for her to win Hip Hop Platform of the Year 2 years in a row. Last year, she tied with Drink Champs.
Right.
So I ask again, was DeLeon?
That's hip hop platform. Carisha, please.
We got to stop.
Hmm?
Salute to Carisha. Love Young.
So after Charlamagne said what he said about Carisha winning the award, this is what Carisha had to say in the comments on the Neighborhood Talk. She wanted folks, she want people to leave. She said, y'all, leave me the fuck alone. Okay, that's what she's basically saying. And to be quite honest, I can't lie. They do need to leave her alone. But at the same time, everybody got their opinions. Everybody has their ways. Everybody has a person that they think should be winning. You know what I mean? And I think that Charlamagne did make some good points as to why he didn't understand why Carisha was winning in the first place. And I agree with that. But at the same time, if this is a fan made award, not a fan made award, but if this is an award that's voted for by the fans, then how are we mad that she won? She got the fan base. She do. So of course they're gonna vote for Carisha. Like she's I feel like at this point, Carisha is becoming bigger than just City Girls. She is, regardless of what we may think about her, as dumb as we may say she is, she's becoming a bigger thing than, you know, motherfucking City Girls. She is. Whether we want to agree to that or not, she is. So I'm not mad that she won because like I said, I was placed in that predicament at the Boss Baby Awards. Like we were up against a lot of people. Like for like the YouTuber of the year, I was up against the Wiley Show for podcast of the year. I was also up against consciously, and then even for the podcast of the year, I was up against people like TTB, the Rural Couch. Like I was up against all these different people. And you know, while we got a lot of love for winning, we did have a couple of people that were trying to criticize us for winning. They felt like we didn't deserve it. Like this is a whole LGBT/women based award that they award content creators and different like promoters and hosts and business owners and stuff like that. And that some people did not, you know, mainly the gays, did not think that I deserved my award, and neither did me and Jamar. So that was the fate. That was the facts on that. But I'm not mad at Carisha, but I do feel like if it wasn't a fan thing, if it wasn't a fan thing, I do think it should have been between Drink Champs and the Breakfast Club and the Joe Budden podcast. My opinion though. Now, next up is underrated R&B queen Monica. Now, Monica did an interview, right? And she was basically saying that she feels like she's the most forgotten when it comes down to being awarded for her music. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into that. And then after we get into it, I'm going to give you my commentary on it. So let's listen in on what this queen had to say.
I'm actually a person that for all the records I've broken, I really have never won any awards. I'm really the most forgotten if you think about it. I'm pretty much the underdog, but I sit very comfortably in it because I can still go where I want, do what I want, live how I want. But when I say that I am often forgotten, I was hosting the Soul Train Awards, was nominated for 5, 3 of my songs in one category and still lost. But I went out to eat and kicked my regular after. I was not bothered because that's not what I do it for.
That's dope.
That is really my point when I say that oftentimes I'm forgotten in those spaces. I'm actually.
Now, that was Monica basically saying how she feels like she's one of the most forgotten when it comes down to winning awards for her work. This is what I'm going to say about that. I definitely agree with Monica. I do think that she is one of the most forgotten people when it comes down to it. I do think so. She comes from it. Like when you think about it, Monica has a lot of classic R&B records. She does. She has a lot of classic R&B records. Monica doesn't really get her just due like that. She doesn't really get her flowers like that. And I remember when she was being honored with the Lady of Soul Award for the Soul Train Awards, I was absolutely ecstatic about that. because I always felt like as a person that because I relate. Because I always felt like I was underrated too for a long time. I even stated this in the interview that I did with the Scorpion show. I was like, back then, me and Jamar felt like we were like the underdogs amongst, the greats like yourself and Ashley and Bundy and Rocks and Much Love. We were in the background, but we were still around. So I understand where she comes from. Like when you think about it, a lot of the times Monica never really got nominated for her own work most of the time. Like the Grammy that she did win, she was, it was with Brandy for The Boy's Mind. But that year, she didn't get nominated for any of her solo workings at all. Like you would think that she had a #1 record with Angel in Mind. You thought that would have been a Grammy nominated record. She had another #1 record with The First Night. You would have thought she would have been nominated for that. Then she came back out with After the Storm. She had a big ass record with So Gone. You would have thought she would have been nominated for that. Or After the Storm, that album, she would have been nominated for that. It's just like, but I think the problem is that when Monica was out, the competition was fucking steep. If you really think about it, the competition was steep because you got Brandy, you got Aaliyah, you had all these different girls, you had Mary, it was Tony, all these different girls out there. It was steep competition. Like when you in that realm in the 90s, and the 90s had a whole lot of talent back then. So it was very difficult to choose who you really wanted to see walk away with an award. I think the only awards that Monica has probably is like that BET award that she got during the Still Standing era. She got a Grammy with Brandy, and I think that she got what's the other award? Are those the only two awards she got? Oh, and the Soul Train Lady of Soul Award. Yeah. I think those are the only three awards that she actually has. Like, because when you think, like I said, when you think about it, the competition was steep. When she was nominated for a Grammy, like I said, she was with Brandy. When she came back out in 2003, she came out where it was a summer of a whole lot of women being out right now. And Beyonce and Ashanti was running it in 2003. So there's no way she could have been nominated. Then, you come back out in 2010, and then you in categories with the likes of Fantasia. You in the categories with the likes of Kelly Price and Faith Evans and Jasmine Sullivan. Like the competition was always steep when it came down to her. Like it was never no clear win for her, really. But when it comes down to 90s artists, I do think that Monica is very underrated. And no matter what people may think about her, I do feel like she in her time in the industry, I don't think that she took a lot of risk musically. And I think that's what most people's gripe is with her, is that they felt like she didn't take a lot of risk musically and sonically. But at the same time, I don't think Anita Baker did either. She stayed in her lane and she was still able to win awards. And I even feel like Anita Baker don't really get her flowers the way that she should. Anita Baker came out at a time again where it was steep competition. Whitney, Mariah, different people like that were running stuff back then. So when you're coming out during a time like that and the competition is that steep, then it's probably going to be even harder for you to win. But trust me, you'll get there. And I think that it's a blessing that Monica is still out here putting out albums, putting out music, and still can sell out a show based off of her name alone. So shout out to Monica. I want to know what y'all think in the comments down below. Now we're moving on to Miss Nicki Minaj. Okay. Now the Neighborhood Talk posted something that Nicki Minaj retweeted, and it was basically her reminding the fans that she is still dominating 10 years later. And this is what was said. Okay. So she reposted a tweet from February the 18th, 2011. All right. And she had reposted that it was like this. Minaj is now the first female rapper to top that chart since Missy Elliott in 2002. She has officially brought back the female rapper Billboard, okay? And then she retweeted it, and then someone else had, responded a year late, maybe 2 years later, and said, "Your 15 minutes is almost up." And then she said 10 years later. So then there were people in the comments that had some things to say about it. So here's one of the first comments that I see. It says, "She's so insecure with her career. How could you imagine Beyonce posting something like this? LOL. That's why she goes on a rant every other day on this app, because she has to continue to tell herself that she's still relevant. Let your music speak for itself." Powder Donut. Ooh. House of Aaron, my good friend here. We get it. Someone says you don't have to like her, but you do have to respect her longevity this many years in the game. Someone says whether you're a fan or not, she definitely been dominating for over a decade. Someone else says, I'm sorry, but she's solidified. She's not going anywhere. She's an elite. It's time that the industry and the girls face it. It's corporate giants and machines that went against her. Oh God, I hate when they do that victimizing bullshit they like to do. For the first female rapper to chart in 9 years to still be charting 12 years after that is crazy. Imagine how much money these labels wasted to get rid of her. Worst investment in history. So y'all gonna finally stop the force Nikki hating and admits none of these new girls are on her level? Can't name another female rapper that lasted this long as a chart topper, or even has many hit albums, or even a single solo tour as a female rapper. Not one. There's only one. She's really her. Okay. So let's see where we at. Why y'all try to come for a successful black woman? Leave her alone, please. She ain't going nowhere. She will always be here and still being talked about. Okay, so that's what the people are saying in the comments. Now, here's my thing with Nicki. Sometimes I do feel like she's insecure about herself when she doesn't necessarily have to be. Now, please stay with me on this, because I'm pretty sure that there's some damn barbs up in here that's only going to hear me say what I just said and not listen to the rest of what I said. Right? Okay. Here's the thing. She doesn't have a reason to be insecure about anything. She's one of the biggest female rappers out. Okay. She, if not the biggest female rapper out, she's up there amongst the greats like Kim and Missy. She's up there with them. You know, she's still able to make an impact after all these years. And we've seen her come up right before our very eyes. So even with all of that, even with all the accolades, even with all of that, you know, she's still here. Even with all the naysayers, she's still here. But what I need for her to do is to do something like this. You don't have to always brag and be braggadocious about where you've been, because at the end of it all, listen, I just think this just the way I think. I feel like you should let your numbers, and not only your numbers, but you should also let your work speak for itself. There's not really anything that you owe anybody. There's really no explanations that you owe anybody. You already got it in the bag. So I don't even see the point or the need for you to have to repost old tweets when folks was trying to tell you that you was over. You've already you already proved everybody wrong already. You're still here. You're still one of the most viewable female rappers out there right now. There was a time where female rap did not have a long lifespan or shelf life, and you have defeated the odds at this point of your career. So there's nothing for you to have to keep on bragging about. Now, another thing that I don't like is how people love when criticism is brought to Nicki Minaj. The first thing that people want to say is, why are y'all badgering a successful black woman? Why are y'all doing this to a successful black woman? Those are the barbs that be saying shit like that. Now y'all want to use the black woman title for sympathy when y'all harass other successful black women. Meg anybody? Lotto anybody? Lil Kim anybody? Anybody that y'all feel is an enemy of Nicki Minaj, y'all are going to attack them, even though they're also successful black women. We need to stop it with the double standards. Okay? Stop it with that. Stop it with they tried to get rid of her. Ain't nobody tried to get rid of her. Oh, everybody was against her. Well, nobody against her. She had a lot of enemies, that's true, but I don't feel like it was just this. I still don't feel like it was just this big old master plan to get rid of her. I just don't feel that way, my opinion. But like I said, she doesn't have a reason to boast or brag about anything. She doesn't have to. She's already solidified. So there's really no need for her to do that. I just want her to know that she's great. You know, I just want her to know that. Like, I got my opinions on Nicki. I really do have my opinions on her. I do. And a lot of them are very strong. They're not always the most positive because I call her out on her. I do. But she is one of the greats. We can't take that from her. A lot of these girls that are coming up, they saw Nicki and they wanted to be a rapper. The same Nicki is now the standard for female rap. At the time that she came out, the standard for female hip hop artists was Lil' Kim, and Nicki followed the blueprint of a Lil' Kim. I just feel like Nicki is receiving the same thing that she gave Lil' Kim when she first came out, and now she's seeing that now with these new crop of girls. You know, but hey, you know, I know somebody's gonna take what I just said and make it into something else. But hey, that's what y'all do. That's just how y'all is, in the words of Jamie Dixon. So next up is Mr. Tommy Davidson and the girl that can't sing, Jennifer Lopez. Now, Tommy Davidson called her out for barely being willing to say hi to him after becoming a superstar, despite being cool with him on The Living Color. Let's get into that, honey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Ain't no J-Lo bashing because
Right.
she's crazy,
Right.
talented.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Can't put nothing on her. And she's a great actress too.
Right.
You know, but we used to hang out with me, her, my ex. We used to go to dinner together.
Right.
So I saw her at the upfronts. It was me and Danny DeVito.
Mhm.
And he's like, there's Jennifer Lopez over there. You know her, right? I'm like, yeah, I know her. So I go over there. I'm like, what's up, girl? Shoot, man, you blew up. What is going on? She's like, hi. So what's going on? What's going on? And, you know, just living like, you know, get some little carrot dip. And I'm going, you know, what's in that carrot dip? You know, because she's your dipping my ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just avoided her because you never know what someone's going through that
Right.
day.
Right.
I
Right.
could be misreading
Right.
it.
Right.
You know, I always got to get the love, but
Right.
that's from my profile,
Right.
from being the black and between the white
Right.
and all that. So I'm needy in that
Right.
way. I can admit that.
Right.
But I do love love.
Right.
We had the same manager at one time,
Right.
and she was doing a video up in the block.
Yeah.
Jenny from the block, block, right?
Yeah.
That one. And so he said, why don't you go and visit her on the set, man? She would love to see you. And I was like, nah, that's all right. That's all right, man.
Right.
He's like, nah, man, come on, man. This is you. Come on, man. I was like, nah, that's all right, man.
Right.
That's all right, because one time is enough
Right.
for me.
Right.
So I go down on the platform, and there she is, you know. So I get down to the end of the thing, and I look at her, and Benny's going, come on, man, let her know you're here, man. I'm like, all right, man. And I go, Jennifer, what's up? And she goes, hey. So that was like the last, you know. I don't know how she's going to be when I see her next, but the next time I saw her, I avoided her.
Right.
Because I don't like feeling that way.
Right.
I don't want to be around anybody who makes me feel like I'm not important.
I'm less than because
you're going to make me feel like I ain't important? Ain't no J-Lo bashing because she's crazy, talented.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Can't put nothing on her. And she's a great actress too.
Right.
You know, but we used to hang.
All right, so that was Tommy Davidson calling out Jennifer Lopez about acting like she really didn't know him after they had been on The Living Color together before. And this is and I understood where Tommy Davidson was coming from. I ain't even gonna front, I ain't even gonna lie. Because I've been in those situations before where, you know, I've been cool with somebody, we have a great rapport or something like that. We probably work together, and then you probably see them or hit them up after a long period of time, and then you're like, what's going on? What's going on? And then when they barely acknowledge you, it is kind of a gut punch in a sense. Like, I took out my time to show you all this love, and you know, we used to be so cool. We worked together. We did all this stuff before, and now you want to pay me dust now. It's just like, it's kind of disrespectful in my opinion. And I understand where he's coming from because, like I said before, you only got to show me one time that that's the type of person that you are. I won't ever speak to your motherfucking ass again. I won't never go out of my way to show you love ever again if you ever do that to me again. Like, that's just the truth here. And like I said, I understand that. It's always a fucked up ass feeling when you going out, reaching out to somebody, and then they just throw you to the end like you ain't like I'm famous now. Who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? I would never act like that with nobody. Like if I knew you way back then, I knew you way back then, I knew you now. Like it's classmates from the first grade that didn't even go to middle school with us that probably moved out of state or something like that. By the time we got to middle school, I'll find them they'll probably pop up in my mind. I'll find them on Facebook. I add them as a friend. I hit them up and say, remember me, blah, 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 blah. They'll be like, oh my God, I never seen, oh my God, I ain't seen you in a year. That's just me. I'm just that type of person. I don't give a how long it's been, bitch. If I know you from way back then, it ain't finna be no, what is it? It ain't finna be no, acting brand new. Hell no. We older, we ain't seen each other in years, but bitch, it's all the same. We gonna show the same love and stuff like that. I don't like nobody to act like that with me. Like that, like don't be no bitch to me because you own at this point and you want to act like you don't know me. Like that's some crazy shit. But like I said though, it only takes one time for you to do that to me. One time. You do it to me once, and you decide that you ain't got to worry about it no more. You ain't got to worry about me speaking. You ain't got to worry about me reaching out. You ain't got to worry about me doing a motherfucking thing. Okay, you ain't got to worry about that. Period. I would never do it again. I swear to God, I would never do it again. So I definitely understood where he was coming from and stuff like that. And just like he said, the next time I saw her, I avoided her ass. That's the way to be. All right. So yeah, I'm totally team Tommy on. So next up is Jeannie Mai and Young Jeezy. Now, y'all know we've been talking about them for the last 2 weeks. A divorce was filed and all that good stuff. So now we're just trying to understand what's going on. So Jeannie Mai came on the Sherry Shepherd's show, and she talked about how she's feeling right now in regards to her divorce from Jeezy. I'm not gonna put that up there because I don't want no copyright claims, honey. So let's go ahead and get into what Jeannie Mai had to say. Let's take a listen.
I love my first guest because no matter what life throws at her, she keeps it real with poise and grace. And I cannot wait for her new game show, Raid the Cage, to premiere tonight. Please welcome back my friend, Jeannie Mai. Look at Let me tell you something.
How are you, everybody?
Let me tell you something. You better come out here with a vengeance looking all good. Let me tell you this, girl.
We got to always take care of us, though, right?
You have to. Your microphone fell away. I think I hugged it out of her.
I'm too hot for it to handle.
You do. It's just like you got to take a moment to just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And breathe and do it. And you are doing it so well, Mama.
Thank you.
Look good.
Thank you.
I just love you. I like to consider you a friend. You're one of my favorite guests, Jeannie, whenever you come.
I love coming. It's so home here.
I hope so. And I know because I'm one that has been through it, and
Yes.
we are praying for you, but you're going through this divorce. How you doing, Mama?
I'm not going to lie. It takes every day to just really sit and just be quiet in your thoughts, take care of me. But one thing I know is you give God your pain, he will give you his power. Girl, period. So every day, I'm like, here you go. You got room for more? Here's some more.
There you go.
And just taking it day by day,
I know mine was, I was like, being on my knees, I'd be like, just give me enough light for this, where I'm at, and show me what my assignment is today. I couldn't worry about nothing else.
Yes.
You just got to put on the blinders. Girl.
Absolutely. And turning off everything helps too.
Yes.
After that moment, I just turned off every single device in my house, and I really tuned into the voices I really needed to hear, which was me and the truth.
That's it. That's it. You know, I know when I went through it, Jeannie, and because I had married my best friend, Jeffrey's father, and it was devastating to me. But the thing that held me so much was Jeffrey.
Yes.
And watching Jeffrey come through the door every day. So, you know, you have Monaco. How are you handling this being a mom, Monaco? This baby right here, this blessing right here.
You know, Monaco, that is my North Star.
Yeah.
And I can definitely tell you that I don't know if I would handle this the same way without her, because today I'm able to look at her and I can say, what would I advise you if you were in my shoes?
Yes.
And it changes everything. So I'm so thankful to be a mom, and I'm thankful to have her.
You know, it's something like you go through stuff and it's just like you look at your child and you go, thank you for this gift, because I needed this gift right now.
Absolutely.
Right now.
He knew that, didn't he?
He knew that.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Monaco gives me, because I follow Monaco. Monaco gives me such joy. And I love watching her on Instagram. And I tell you, there was one on Instagram where you were coming back from a trip. You were at the airport and she met you at the airport. Did she just melt your heart? How did you feel? Look at that. How'd you feel watching her?
Oh my God, you're gonna start me here. You know, Monaco's funny because she's definitely a mood, and on her best days she's a schmood. Like she really isn't about the kisses and hugs. She's really like, mommy, not now. She's usually like that. But every so often she looks at me and she's like, where you been? I've been missing you.
Yes.
And we have this dance. Look at us. You can already picture it. If we're at the club 20 years from now, I don't know. But like, that is my everything. And we have that vibe and we see each other, and she knows I got her.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. And I love it every time I see you and Monaco kiss. Like, y'all just kiss, and it is just like...
And it's not just one. I want all of them. We're counting in Vietnamese, we're counting in Spanish, we're counting in English. I want all of the love.
Okay, and that's what trips me out, because Monaco speaks English.
Okay. First things first. In that clip, Jeannie looks very sad. I ain't even gonna sit up here and hold you. She looks sad as... But, you know, and I know that she's been getting a whole lot of ever since this divorce was, you know, brought to the public, you know, ever since she'd been filed, you know, ever since everything was filed. All I'm gonna say is divorces for most people are like like debts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like losing a loved one in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of people don't feel bad for her, but I kind of feel bad for her. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I do kind of feel bad for her. And you know, I can see it in her face that she's hurt, you know, by this whole thing. But I mean, if you really love somebody, you will be hurt. And you know, she ain't the one that filed anyway. You know what I mean? So of course, she ain't the one that filed. So that's why she's hurt by the whole thing. But all I could do is wish her the best, to be honest. I really ain't got that much to say about it. I wish her the best, but you know, that's what make me so scared to get married, child. Like, do I want to go through that type of shit? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. But you know, Jesus with the BET Hip Hop Awards, it was just like his ass when I'm going through shit. But that's really all I got on there. We go ahead and move on to the next topic, child. And now we're gonna get into the last topic, which is Jada Pinkett Smith and her talking about being proposed to by Tupac. Okay, and you know, people been going in on Jada ever since they found out that her and Will been separated. So now we're gonna listen to her talk about Tupac. Now I got two different videos. On one video, she says that she believes that her and Tupac are soulmates. Then another video, she says that, you know, she talks about Tupac asking her to marry him. Let's get into that.
Soulmate. But yeah, you know, definitely. I don't think, if there is such a thing as past lives, I definitely think Pac and I have traveled a few together, you know, in various forms. So
has there ever been a time that you regretted the decision that you made not to take it to that level with him and to keep it in the friendship space?
It just wasn't possible. There was no chemistry between us. You know, I talk about it in the book. You know,
that's so hard. I know, but that's just so hard to imagine. At the time, he was in a bad, he was in a space where, he was in jail and all that, but it's just hard to believe that we see chemistry with the two of you guys, even in the videos you guys dance, and there seems to be so much chemistry. But from your perspective,
chemistry, it's that friendship, love chemistry. Trust me. And let me tell you of soulmate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think I get what she's saying. I do understand what she's saying here. I don't think that I get what she's saying. I honestly get what she's saying. I can't help it. Sometimes people hear things and they hear it in the way that they want to hear it. She clearly states that her and Tupac had no chemistry, no romantic chemistry. It was more so like a friendship type of chemistry. That was the chemistry that they had. And in the past, they probably were dating in a past life. I get what she's saying. Sometimes they are soulmates, but it doesn't have to be in a romantic sense. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I get what she's saying. Like, you can be really, really tight with somebody and have a really good friendship, but it just doesn't wind up being a romantic situation. I have a friend named Chris, and I feel like at one point in time we were like married in the past life because we have so much chemistry as friends and the passion there and stuff like that. And I really feel like that. I feel like we have been there in the past life, but it's I don't know, but I get what she's saying there. So I'm not even gonna take that from her. Now we're gonna get into the last part of this, and this is where it's all coming from neighborhood talk. By the way, everything I talked about. She opened up about a marriage proposal that Tupac gave her. Let's get into it.
I know, but he proposed to you while he was in jail.
I talk about this in the book when I go to see him in Rikers, when I wrote about that in the book, and when I had to talk about it, speak my words for the audible version of the book. That was probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there. And he was in bad shape. And so when he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers. And I knew at that time that he needed somebody to do time with him, which I was going to do anyway. You didn't have to marry me to do time, right? I'm here.
I see why we love you.
And then like he needed a rock.
A lot of people might not know, but he proposed to you while he was in.
Okay, and that was what she said about them, getting engaged. Well, not really getting engaged, but Tupac proposing to her. And people in the comments are so mad, and they keep on saying, "Keep Tupac name out your mouth." Why you keep talking about Tupac? She got a book, y'all. She's out here promoting the damn book. What do you think she gonna talk about? She gonna talk about all the shit that's in the motherfucking book. Like, she ain't got no reason to lie. She's always talked about her relationship with Tupac. Always have talked about their friendship and all that stuff. Always has. So I don't even understand why people are so upset about this. Like somebody said in the comments, the lack of comprehension is astounding. She has maintained that they had no romantic chemistry. This does not contradict that. She was saying that he needed her support, so he was willing to marry her. That doesn't mean they were in love. So I agree with that. It ain't no obsession. This ain't no obsession. I just really feel like a lot of the time people want a reason to hate Jada. And I never understand why they want to hate her so bad, but they want a reason to hate this lady so bad. They make it seem like this lady has done the ultimate worst. And I never see the reason as to why they feel like that. I would never see the reason for that. Like, why the are y'all so mad at this lady? Why? And y'all blame her for every little thing that ever happened in her marriage to Will Smith, as if Will Smith, I guess because he's not speaking or not saying anything or writing books, that means that he is the innocent party in the situation. So, yeah, I don't know. But With that being stated, y'all, that's all I got. This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out here. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye, y'all.